think of trout, when we think of the Owens Valley, we think of Owens River, we think of Hot Creek, Lake Crowley, brown trout, rainbows, the whole thing, right? But we don't necessarily think of some of the other species up there. There are carp, there are bass in the canals, ponds, and reservoirs. So there is a lot going on up there in the Owens Valley, and if you want to know about that and you want to be guided in that area, Jarett Coons is a great guy to do that with. He owns Sierra Mountain Trout Guide Service. I asked Jarett when I was up there with him if there was one rig that he would take up there, what would it be if that's all he had to be able to target all those various different kinds of species.
So if I was going to come up and fish here for, I guess, everything, and I was going to bring one, I guess if I had that one setup, I guess you're just like your standard setup, a 9-foot 5-weight could get you by for everything. It might be a little undergunned for the bass and carp, but you can do it. I've caught carp and bass on the 5-weight. Floating line, probably just a standard weight forward floating line to match. And just a standard setup, probably 7.5, 9-foot tapered leader, 4 or 5X for your trout setups. And then I'm a nymph guy, so I usually start subsurface. So I kind of do that. I'll tight line nymphs. Dry dropper is a good way to go. And then if the water's real deep and fast and you don't think they're gonna come up, then I would go straight like a bobber setup or nymphing. But yeah, flies. God, my number one trout fly right at the moment has got to be the sexy waltz. The waltz worm, that sexy waltz is just, it's the most simple fly there is. A little rabbit hair on a hook with a bead and a little rib. That's basically it. That thing has been taking more fish for me the past year or two. That's probably my number one fly. But things like that, the pedregons, any of the tungsten nymphs like that, that's kind of what I've been using. The quildagons, peridagons. And then for warm water flies, I would definitely get some carp coachman. That's a great all-round pattern for carp, no matter where you find them, if it's in the flats or if it's in the ditches. You can get that from Solitude Fly Company or any shop that carries Solitude flies. Most shops here in town carry Solitude flies, but yeah, that carp coachman's money for that. And the damselfly larva, that's another great one that crosses the realm from trout and bass. You will catch some pretty large bass on a little damsel nymph, as well as carp, as well as trout. So yeah, that's a good starting point.
Don't forget that all kinds of species up there in the Owens Valley, not just the trout, there's carp and bass as well. So many different types of waters, and just in a very short radius area up there. Jarett Coons is someone who can really put you on the various species and the various spots and places that you can be successful in targeting whatever you want to up there. Appreciate Jarett going through and telling us what he would do in terms of gear if he only had one set of rig that go up in that area. And that was awesome in terms of that video, but he can kind of put you on whatever you want to in terms of spots. Just let us know and we'll put you in touch with him. We'll see you right here next time on the Backcast.